Hey ladies, it's Ariane, and I am finally going to do my natural birth plan, and this is the very first birth plan that I've ever actually done, and it's my third child, and I've never taken really the time to write out a birth plan. I've talked to my doctors and my midwife about what I want, but I've never really been so concerned about it, or so, I don't know, just feeling the need to like write it out and give it to them and make them understand every little aspect of the birth plan. I think for me it's really the relationship that I have with my provider and knowing kind of how their practice goes. So like, since I'm going to a midwife and I'm doing a natural birth, most of the things that I want are already going to be given to me. That's kind of the way that a birth center and a midwife is set up. And so this is the first time that I've ever actually written anything out and actually like thought about it in order. And I'm doing it for you because I'm really not going to give this, to my midwife. She's already delivered one of my girls, and so she, I know the way she works and she knows me, and we have just that kind of a relationship to where at the moment I can say what I want if something needs to be specific, but this is just kind of for you, and I'm sure it'll be really fun to look back on. So so right now I am 38 weeks and 1 day, and so kind of my plan for now is I got a membrane sweep when I was 37 and a half weeks, and I will do that again when I go in on Wednesday in a couple days, and I will just continue to get my membranes swept every time I go in, and we'll just do that. I'm debating, just because I've been so uncomfortable, I'm debating when I'm going to do castor oil. I did castor oil with my daughter, my second daughter, and it did send me into labor. I was 39 weeks. I was almost 40 weeks, but I might try castor oil. We'll see how I feel, but I've been kind of thinking I'll try that. I've been drinking a lot of raspberry tea, and so once I do go into labor, I will probably start drinking a really strong concoction of raspberry tea, like a really, just strong and undiluted, just to kind of keep contractions going and keep contractions strong. I really want this to be a very progressive and as short as possible labor, so whatever I can do to kind of keep that going. Once labor starts, and I feel confident that it's real labor and that I will be going to the midwife, I do choose to give myself, this is a lot of information, but I choose to give myself an at-home enema. And so I keep enemas on hand. And the reason I do that is because, as many of you who've researched childbirth or who've had children know, a lot of women just, you can't help it. You're bearing down and you poop. And you poop in front of your doctor and you poop in front of your midwife, and it's just what happens. It's a natural thing. And as much as I am okay with the fact that it's a natural thing and it happens and that's fine, if I had to choose between getting it out in the privacy of my own bed, my own house, versus in front of a doctor or possibly in a birth pool while I'm laboring, I'm going to choose the privacy of my own bathroom. So for me, I feel more comfortable giving myself an enema than I do being concerned about it when I am pushing. I don't want to think about that when I'm pushing. And I do think about it, and it makes me really self-conscious. And so for me, that's what I do. With both girls that I've had, I have never had an accident. I've never had an accident while pushing. So for me, so far, it has worked. And so I choose to do that on my own. So I will do that at some point when things are looking very real. And I have to say, it's not an uncomfortable, horrible situation. I mean, it's not unpleasant. it's not even half as unpleasant as the idea of going in front of somebody else. As usual, I'm going to labor at home as long as I can. I have a birth ball that I'm borrowing from a friend, and my plan in my head right now is to set my birthing ball, the birth ball right in front of the TV, and I'll turn on a TV show like Friends, because I have all of them, and I'll just watch like episode after episode just to get my mind off of the pain. And I'm hoping that that will help, just to like watch TV and get through the contractions. And while my children are kind of running around, and I will do that as long as I can before I feel like I need my children to go. When I'm feeling like I've about had enough and it's getting close to the time I need to go to the birth center, or I feel like my children are getting concerned about me, I will have my husband take them to my sister's house and then finish laboring at home until I want to labor as long as I can. With my last daughter, I labored until I think my contractions were 4 or 5 minutes apart. And even then, when I showed up at the birth center, I was only dilated to 4 centimeters. And so I really do want to try to wait it out at home as long as I can. If I can last till they're 3 centimeters apart, it's 3 to 4 centimeters apart, I will do that. Because I really don't want to be laboring. I really want to try laboring in the comfort of my own home before I have to go and labor in front of midwives watching me. It's a personal thing. I would rather labor with as few people watching me and coaching me as possible. I don't like when people tell me, breathe, breathe, calm down, relax, because it makes me feel like I'm not doing it right. And so I want to just kind of be in my own privacy to grunt and make the noises that I want to make without worrying about it. But when I get there, I am fine with cervical checks. I don't care about exams. I check my cervix as many times as the midwife wants. I don't care. I like knowing where I'm at, so I don't care about that. Last time, when I labored in the pool, in the birth tub, for quite a while, when she checked me and I was dilated to 8 centimeters, she broke my water, so I'm imagining that that will probably happen again, and I'm fine with that too. She broke my water at 8 centimeters just to make sure that it was clean and clear and there was no meconium. And at this point, I'm not sure exactly how I want to do this, because I've had a water birth, and even though I liked it, I didn't like the lack of physical support, because my husband wasn't in there with me to lean on him and have me lift my legs, and I had to labor on my back because I had a cervical lip, and so she had me labor on my back until that cervical lip went away, and then she just had me push on my back so she could see and help and kind of be a part of it. But I was floating, and it was very awkward, and it was not comfortable to have that support. And I don't know if I can get that support without my husband being in the water. And I don't think that I really want him in the water, and I don't think he wants to be in the water. I'm not sure how that's going to work. So I've kind of just decided in my head that I'm going to wait until I get to that point and see how I feel. I think that one of the most comfortable positions probably would be if there wasn't as much water in the tub to be floating, but just to be in the water. So I might decide I want to try the bed. I don't know. I like the idea that when I was pushing in the pool, I pushed so hard and so fast that she really just kind of came flying out at me. I like the idea of being on a bed where the midwife can control and kind of coach me, and I'm aware of her progress so that I can go slower and not tear. I don't want to tear. I tore last time, and I've torn both times I've had a baby, and it wasn't bad, but my goodness, healing would be just amazing if I didn't tear at all. So I'm wondering if it's worth it to just push on the bed where you have more control, and the midwife has more control. So if any of you have experience with either of these scenarios, I am very confused about which is better. I think the birth tub sounds like it's less pain in the contractions, but I don't know, I also like the idea of not getting wet. It really bothered me. My face was constantly wet and sweaty, and my hair was like falling in my face, and I wanted to put it back, but it wouldn't stay back, and my headband broke. I kind of like the idea of just being dry on the bed, but I don't know. Any advice, or if you guys have any experience with either of these, obviously I won't get an episiotomy, so if I tear it, that's fine, whatever. I'm going to be allowed to drink and eat, and in fact, the midwives do push that you drink a lot. And so I drank with my last daughter, but it got to a point where I had really bad heartburn, and I didn't want anything more in my stomach. But when she's born, obviously she'll go straight to my chest. And at this point, it's kind of just the standard, the way things work with a midwife, or at least my midwife. Straight to my chest, I'll hold her, just have that bonding. I will kind of wait to cut the cord until it's done pulsing, and then I would really like to cut the cord this time. My husband's done the last two. I really kind of want to try it. I've never cut an umbilical cord before, and I would like to be a part of that and have that opportunity, so I want to do it this time. And I will probably just hold her and bond with her. Probably won't nurse her right away, but just kind of play and bond and do that until I feel like probably until it's time to birth the placenta, because you have to do that out of the tub. And then at that point, I'll pass her off to family that will be there after she is born. So I have sisters and a mom that will come in once she is born. So they won't, I'm not sure that I want to have them see me pushing and all that, but they'll be there right after. And then from there, pretty much you deliver the placenta, which is painful and not fun, and I'm not looking forward to it. And then she will stitch me up, and I will probably just, have my husband and my family hold her and kind of pass her around and clean her up, and have them wipe her off, and I'll get stitched up. And what else? I don't do the vitamin K shot. I don't do the eye ointment. I do the PKU, and so at some point before I go, we'll do the PKU. At the birth center, they only make you stay for 3 hours, and then you can go home, so I'm really looking forward to being able to sleep in my own bed and not have my vitals checked. I did not like that when I did have a hospital birth. And other than that, that's pretty much it. I am going to make a CD, maybe even 2 CDs of some kind of a mix of nursery songs that I love from some popular artists, just like lullaby music, that on a couple different CDs that I have, that just I kind of want to make like a mix and have that playing. I really did like the music, the soft music that was playing with my last child. I didn't bring it, but the midwife provided it, and it really made such a difference. And so I'm really excited to have my own music that I know and recognize. I think it would really help me. But other than that, I think that that's about it. I'm about out of time. So please, like I said, I didn't cover everything. A lot of things I think in my mind I just assume. Like I'm having a girl, so I don't have to worry about circumcision. And I don't know what else. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. If you have any thoughts or ideas or any advice that really helped you in your natural childbirth or in your water birth or anything like that, feel free to throw it at me, because even though I've had 2 kids, I'm still learning and I still feel very new at this. So anyway, we'll see you in a couple days or maybe a day, and I'm going to do a hospital bag video. So bye.